We're now learning more information and getting a new look at the destruction left behind from this chase. Neighbors tell us that this is part of the chase. We'll go ahead and give you a look, first starting with the tire marks leading to this vehicle here. This is the first time we're getting a look at this. There was fuel and other liquids from the plane that were leaking on the ground, so they are still working to clear that up. Now, nobody else was hurt in this wreck, but we are still working to find out why this plane crashed down in Cape Coral today. Shots were fired just before 11 o'clock last night. Deputies still on the scene now trying to piece together this homicide. They are still keeping us very far away. We're going to show you the exact path that investigators laid out on how this crash happened. You can see the tire marks leading up to the wreck highlighted in pink here, and then follows through. This was not your typical kind of robbery. The armed thief not only entered into the door, but did so while watching himself on surveillance cameras. We'll go ahead and show you, before we show you the footage, there's not only just one camera right outside the door, but several posted throughout the building. Did that deputy violate policy? And the answer is no. The undersheriff says that the car, it was locked. You could not get into it, and those weapons, they were out of sight. County sheriffs, they just told me that they're actually expanding now the scene that they have taped off. Just reached out to the Lee County Sheriff's Office to see if they will be bringing that command center out again today. That's what we saw here yesterday. Now, this entire scene has been roped off since about 11 o'clock yesterday morning. You can see that they do have a deputy in front of the house. This is a different location where we were just at the top of the hour. We're now inside of the neighborhood. There's a very large deputy presence on Alvin Avenue in Lehigh. It's right near Buckingham Road. I'm going to step out of the way so we can bring you right to the scene. We have watched as investigators walked in and out of this home on Alvin Avenue. I wanted to show you how much things have changed here at Club Blue. This wall was graced with bullet holes, now patched up. You can't even see where they were anymore. We're talking about $20,000 just for a 10,000 square foot lot. If you want to get an idea what that lot size is, go ahead and take a look. A 200-pound bear is on the loose in Golden Gate. Very scary situation. You can see this tree behind me. This was the last spot where this bear was seen. I just stepped out of that meeting, and the room is packed with parents learning all the do's and don'ts when it comes to this school-issued laptop. Next week, you'll be able to get your hands on the new license here in Cape Coral, and time is really of the essence. These students are coming from the University of Miami. They're going to be in the Dunbar community this morning. They'll be making their rounds, talking to neighbors about the health risks. What they're doing is they're spraying repellent just like this, but in bigger portions. Can't forget about me. We're out here with hundreds of other people who are gearing up for today's race, the Freedom 5K.
News traffic anchor Kristin Sanchez joins us with more on the dangers of teen driving. Kristin.
Yeah, that's right, Trace and Corey. According to the National Highway Safety Administration, in 2016, more than 3,500 teens died in car crashes. But there are ways that you can keep your teens safe.
You feed them, clothe them, and teach them the skills they need to succeed in life. One of the most basic skills is driving. It is not only important to teach them how to drive, but also the dangers that come along with driving impaired or distracted. In fact, new teen drivers are 3 times as likely to be involved in a deadly car crash. 60% of these teen crashes are caused by distractions, and 1/4 of the teens have been drinking.
Not paying attention to what's coming up, pedestrians, bicyclists, other cars, red lights, stoplights.
So what can you do to protect your teen? First, have conversations early and often about the dangers of underage drinking, driving while under the influence, and distracted driving. Make a parent-teen agreement that sets family rules against dangerous driving behaviors, such as texting and driving. 64% of all accidents have involved cell phones as a cause.
Put the phone down. It's not worth your life or somebody else's life.
And finally, teach by example. Teach your teen safe driving skills by not participating in these dangerous activities yourself.
Besides distractions, other leading causes of teen-involved deadly car crashes include speeding and not buckling up. 60% of teen drivers killed in car crashes were not wearing a seatbelt. This is something, when I was reading the story, I said, yes, me too. The latest complaints on the several iPhones are auto-correcting the letter I to the letter A with a symbol next to it. Have you seen that? It's happening to a lot of phones. So this latest glitch is being seen on iPhones and iPads that were updated with the Apple's latest operating system. Now, several Apple users are frustrated, complaining about the product on Twitter. Just take a look at these. The tweets read, "Good morning to everyone except the letter I on the iOS 11 update." And here, I think the new hashtag iOS 11 update forgot how to autocorrect I. Come on, Apple. The company has responded to the issue, offering a short-term solution, but let me tell you, this solution, it's kind of long. Here, listen up. Apple recommends for users to use a text replacement. The instructions say to first go to Settings and then General. Then next, tap on Keyboard and Text Replacement. Then click on the plus sign in the top right corner. Besides phrase, type the uppercase I, and besides shortcut, type the lowercase I. Tap save in the top right. So I told you, it's a lot there, but this latest glitch comes just days after the release on the iPhone 10.
Students from the University of Miami, right now they're going door to door. They're talking to neighbors. They're asking them if they've had any kind of health concerns in the past. They're just trying to gather any kind of evidence.
It's the University of Miami Environmental Justice Clinic. We just want to ask a couple questions about the toxic site.
An environmental woe has plagued the Dunbar community concerning levels of arsenic, a chemical extremely toxic to human health, was found in a neighborhood park.
Environmental racism is a big deal all over the country. What we see is that there are people who will dump undesirable stuff in African American communities.
The dumping has been happening for years, since the 1960s. Then in 2007, a local activist tells us a memo was sent to city officials alerting them about the high levels of toxin in the soil. But he says nothing was done, and that's when a whistleblower leaked the document.
It's irresponsible for the mayor to be going out making declaratory statements that this stuff is safe when he has no scientific basis or reason to be saying so.
We went ahead and we reached out to the mayor, who says the city has been monitoring the site with the Department of Environmental Protection, and it poses no risk to the public.
Learned about it, that measures were taken to make sure that it's safe.
But that answer isn't good enough for neighbors.
Is this happening in every neighborhood? No, it just seems like this is whatever the garbage and junk, whatever they don't want, they give to Dunbar.
Researchers, they'll be out here for a few more hours today. Now, they tell us depending on what they find today, they could be back next Saturday to gather more information and then possibly test the sludge. For now, we're live in Fort Myers. I'm Kristin Sanchez. Wink News now.
One for the money, two for the show.
Twitching hips and everlasting sneer, thousands are honoring the gone but not forgotten Elvis Presley.
You grow up listening to all his albums as a teenager, and it's just a great loss.
Fans were joined by rocker Lisa Presley, Elvis's only child, and Priscilla Presley. At a $30 charge, mourners had to pay to walk the grounds of the Graceland estate and the gravesite of the king. And many longtime attendees protested outside the gates.
The vigil should be free, because we're all here because we love Elvis.
Elvis remains the best-selling solo artist of all time, with people still tapping their feet and bouncing their knee to the music, which Mike Stoller wrote.
He was going to be a big star. We all knew it.
His fans certainly did, and 4 decades after his death, they still come.
It was a 2-story house, blue in color, kind of like a Disney castle.
One man's fairy tale home is now ground zero. Flames rip through Lehigh Acres, cars now charred, trees slim to matchsticks, and houses flattened to ash and soot. For this family, a wall of fire kept one precious thing hostage, a family dog.
When I got here, there was a deputy here. We couldn't get in. It was all engulfing fire. I couldn't get to the back where my kennel is, where my dog was, and that was the hardest part, and that was devastating.
Fortunately, Josie L. Romero's dog made it out okay, but the vivid memories puts him at a loss of words. Governor Rick Scott stepping in to speak for him.
Everything you own, any pictures, any clothes, you've lost everything.
The fast-moving fire destroyed this house and 3 others.
We were circled by flames.
Families say they were spared with just a few feet separating the inferno from their home. This woman's saving grace? Sprinklers and a melted water pump.
See the pump in the back?
Yep.
Yes, that was, the water was shooting. Did not let flames or anything approach my house.
And we're learning tonight a cigarette sparked the 400-acre blaze. In Lehigh Acres, I'm Kristin Sanchez. Wink News now.